Hey everybody, tip of the week here. Today we're going to be talking about replacing your chucks and making sure that you have proper clearance to the chuck bell. What you're going to notice here is the chuck that we had installed already, it wasn't actually set to the proper clearance in relation to the chuck bell and it ended up damaging the lip. So what we did to expedite this process is we've already removed the chuck, but before that we had to remove both lever blocks, the knockout pad beneath using our RSS Macklin tool, and then we remove the chuck itself. Today, I'm accompanied by the best and the greatest, Jonathan McLaughlin, and he's gonna show you guys how to set everything up. Go ahead, John.
All right, guys, so as Alex explained, we've already done some pre-setup work here. The first thing you'll notice is that we have a newer seaming chuck that we're ready to install on this 121L Angelus seamer. The next thing you'll notice is that I'm holding a 504L seal sleeve in my hand and a couple of the 129L 816 shims. There is a certain setup dimension that you are trying to achieve when you are installing your seaming chuck, and that's what the shims are for. So they're the specification that's called out by the OEM, and you can refer to your Angelus service manual for that specification. Once you install the final seal sleeve here with the shims, and you'll notice that there's an O-ring inside on the ID of this seal sleeve. That kind of helps keep the seal sleeve up into position when it's mounted. So,
Hey John, a lot of people talk about where those shims should go. Do they go beneath the washer itself with the spacer there, or should they go above it?
they should actually sit in between both seal sleeves. So this is actually, I'll say it's a new revision from the original, but this revision has been around for a long time. This seal sleeve used to be a one piece and you would shim above the top of it. And it would sit against the rotor that sits up there. The unfortunate part about that design was anytime you would remove it, and if you had to make any slight changes, you'd have to take a pick or something and dig up in there to try to get those shims to fall down. Angelus came out with a pretty good idea. They split this seal sleeve in two. That gave you the ability to place your shims in between these two seal sleeves. Makes it a little easier on the person that's installing your tooling. So after I have those shims and the seal sleeve installed, I've already put a little bit of anti-seize, some food grade anti-seize on the threads of the seaming chuck. And one thing you want to keep in mind with this machine is due to rotation, this requires a left-handed thread. So make sure you're going the right way when you're putting these on. And some of these can be a tight fit, so you want to install this seaming chuck. I like to start to turn it the correct direction until I feel the threads grab, and then I slowly take it up. And you'll see I actually have a little bit of excess anti-seize at the top here. I'm just going to wipe that away and finish threading the seaming chuck up. From this point, it is a good idea to take some feeler gauges just to verify that you're not hitting the top of the seaming chuck lip with the bottom of the chuck bell. There is a specific dimension that is called out that you're supposed to set this up to, as mentioned before, and we are looking for about 7 thousandths to 10 thousandths clearance after this is tightened down. But I'm going to check and make sure that I have the clearance before I really hammer on this thing, and so that way I don't destroy this chuck lip, and we're repeating the process.
That makes sense.
So I got about an 1/8 thou clearance there, and about an 1/8 thou there. So, thank you, Alex. So here you can grab a spanner wrench, or you'll want to utilize a soft punch, so that way you don't destroy the side of this hole. I'm just going to give it a good tap until I hear the tone change. Make sure that it doesn't come off. And I'm going to just verify my clearance and see how much it changed. So I'm going to step the feeler gauges down to about 7 thousandths. And that feels like a tight 7 on the right side. And sometimes you can get a slight variation in your chuck bell, especially used chuck bells.
Yep.
Because you run production a lot, sometimes you get some material in there. People let the spindles go too long, you get a little end play, the chucks tend to rise up and make slight contact from time to time. So you can have some slight variation there. So right here, 7th thou is loose. So I'm just going to figure out what my max is at this point. I'll go to an 8. 8th thou just barely wants to start on the right, and it's pretty tight going in on the left. So from that point, I would say that we're good. You can also, if you want to be certain that this chuck is sitting plane with the rest of them, you could set up a dial indicator and indicate from the bottom chuck lip to the station that you just installed the seaming chuck on to verify that it's within 1 to 2 thou.
Okay, so you only, from all the stations, you only want to see your plus or minus 1,000ths?
That's correct.
Okay, that shouldn't be too hard. From here, do I need to be concerned about any other damages or anything at the cautionary tail?
Now you just want to inspect and make sure that you didn't see any damage at the bottom of the chuck lip before installation, which we did not on this particular machine. The next steps going in, which will be installing the knockout pad and installing the seaming roll levers. There you can get into some potential damage if you're not careful and you don't have those set correctly. But you know what? See our next video for installation on the seaming roll levers, and we will help walk you through it.
That's right, guys. And if you actually want to see how to plane every one of your lifters, go to our YouTube videos, and you'll be able to actually see step by step on how we plane these in and verify everything. I want to thank everybody and have a great time and keep on seaming. Take it easy.